Hello everybody, my name is Alex Shrednoslak and I'm a film critic at FilmBook. Today I'll be reviewing episode 5 of the 2021 Starz original series, Confronting a Serial Killer. Confronting a Serial Killer was directed by Joe Berlinger and stars Jillian Lauren. We're here, the final episode. To give you a quick recap in case you haven't watched any of my other reviews, this show's main focus is about Sam Little, who is the most prolific serial killer in American history. He's killed 93 women across about a 35-year time span. Author Jillian Lauren connects with this story and she decides that she's going to try to get him to confess to potentially more murders. I don't remember how many were confirmed at the time. I believe it was just 3 before Jillian got involved. But like I said, he's killed about 93 women. So let's talk about how this season concludes. And as I mentioned from my previous review, this episode is a continuation of the investigation of Alice. Alice is a woman that Sam admitted killing, but she's one of the many victims who has never been found. So Jillian basically continues this investigation of trying to just piece all the details that Sam gives her together to try to find this woman. Not try to find this woman, but solve this case. She was killed in 91, so obviously she's not going to be found. There's also a B story within this where Sam is starting to confess more publicly about the killings that he's done. At the time Jillian is interviewing him, he's obviously in prison. And up until the time that they met, he basically said that he wasn't guilty of any of these murders. We learned this from the get-go, so it's not really like it's a spoiler, but Jillian ends up getting him to admit to 93 murders. Most of these murders are cold cases, which basically means that they were unsolved, but from a public record point of view, he begins to admit publicly to a lot of these murders. So that's one thing that this episode focuses on, is that we actually get to see this happening in court, which obviously ends up being a big win for Jillian. And with all the investigating and headaches and everything else that Jillian had to deal with Sam, she ends up solving the open murder case with Alice. With some really fantastic investigation work, she's able to, take apart pieces of things that he said to her and kind of translate it to something else. I know that probably doesn't make too much sense on the surface, but it's something you gotta watch. I mean, it's truly remarkable what Jillian Lauren was able to accomplish. I won't say too much about the rest of this episode because, it's the end of the series, so you might as well just watch it for yourself, which if you haven't gathered already, I definitely recommend. But like I said before, it's really admirable what Jillian Lauren was able to accomplish with everything that she took on with this project. She knows that not everybody who was affected by these killings is going to have some sort of closure. Closure is a big theme in this episode. The victims' families are not going to have closure, but it was really great to see that there was some sort of progress made throughout this entire investigation. I think this docuseries is something that is truly important and something that everybody should watch. Jillian makes a lot of great points about societal class, the treatment of women, and she brought to light a lot of problems within our society that desperately needed to be talked about. So I'm really happy that I was able to watch this entire series, learn more about her and just this situation in general. As I mentioned before in one of my previous reviews, I'd never heard of Sam Little up until I watched this show. I don't know if this was something that was covered nationally or if it was just covered within the affected areas. Shows like this are important because we really need to show the darker sides of life that we don't like to always talk about. As she talked about from the beginning, these were all women who were just kind of pushed under the rug and forgotten about. These were women that society deemed unimportant, and it really raised a lot of questions about the legitimacy of our justice system. So I'm really glad that they made this series. I'm really happy that Jillian Lauren was able to accomplish everything that she did, and I really hope a lot of people watch this series. So I'm going to give Confronting a Serial Killer an overall rating of a 5 out of 5. And that wraps up my review of Confronting a Serial Killer. I'd like to thank you all for watching. You can see more of my reviews on the FilmBook website. That's film-book.com. Just search for Alex Shrednoslak. You can see other reviews and videos I've done on my YouTube channel, link in the description. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so that way you're notified as soon as new reviews are published. If you agreed or disagreed with my review, definitely leave me a comment down in the comment section below. Please also consider becoming a member on our Patreon, link also in the description. Your support helps us create more engaging content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.